Right over here.
Here we are, Senator,
Oh,
in your part of your office.
In my corner, my Canada Kid corner.
Yes, Canada Kid corner.
There it is.
Well, isn't that amazing? Look at this.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And this is the piece of Halifax that I gave you during the Diamond Jubilee Medal Awards.
That's correct.
The investiture.
Yes.
And you've decided to put a piece of combat Halifax skin.
Right.
And it's probably the only combat airplane ever to have a special place
I'm sure.
in the Senate and
I'm
on
sure.
Parliament Hill.
I am sure it is the only one.
So how do you feel about having your Canada Kid baby up there?
I love it. I love it because I know what it symbolizes, and I know how it was produced, and I know a lot about the people who served on those planes.
Right, yes, and I've researched Halifax NP759er, and it was unfortunately shot down.
Yes.
But some of the guys got out before it crashed.
Right.
So some of them became POWs, but isn't that the way it was for our young men?
For lots of them.
Some of them, so many of them were killed,
Many
but
of them.
some of them got away with the grand adventure.
I know, but some did not, like his uncle.
Right.
His brothers. His
Some of
father's
them-
brother.
Some of them definitely perished.
Yes.
Yeah. Mike,
Shot down.
remember that time we came up to the memorial wall and we reached out and you touched the LaBerge name?
My dad's brother was 22. Both of them were over in England. My dad was a instructor, flight instructor, and his brother was a bomb aimer. And they went out, they had the night out before, and the next night he was gone. My dad was 24, his younger brother was 22, and they spent the last night together having beers together, and that was it.
That was the final goodbye.
And if my dad was alive when that memorial was put up,
Oh,
he would have been the first one out here to go ahead and touch his brother's name.
Remember when you and I and Mike, we did this?
Yes.
And it was kind of fun because, you know, here's the young Canadian, well, relatively young,
relatively.
compared...
Give that guy a glass of wine.
That's right. Here's the Canadian that doesn't know about Bomber Command and his uncle, and then all of a sudden, here's a beautiful memorial with LaBerge on it. It's cool.
And that's how it all began. I called him up and I said, "What are you doing on Saturday? I'll be out there." And he said, "Well, I have something planned, but what are you suggesting?" And I said, "Well, have you ever heard of Bomber Command?" He says, "Yeah, my father's brother, that's my uncle, was killed in Bomber Command." I said, "Well, that's where I'm going." So then he said, "Oh, well, in this case, I'm going to cancel what else I planned, and I'm going with you."
Wow.
And there was that beautiful moment when
Yeah.
we approached the wall and the names are there, and he stopped and he looked at the name, found the name, and then he said, "If only my father could have seen this."
Right.
But
Profound
over the
words.
years since then, I've noticed other people coming out
Oh, yes.
and talk to them, and they said, we heard about this, and they'd come out and you'd see them.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I've seen that magic moment, and what happens is with our Bomber Command Memorial Wall with 10,000 names on it, I've seen the magic moment when somebody walks up from over in left field and they come up to the 10,000 names, and all of a sudden you see the finger come out,
And they say there.
and it touches the name. It's kind of like
And
it's
there's
magic.
a difference between going up and then actually almost as though you're scratching their head.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's,
No.
yeah, it was. It's interesting to see that over the years, and more people keep coming.
Oh, it's
Sure.
wonderful. That's
So,
what the wall is there
That's
for.
you know,
Right.
so having a piece of this in your office,
Right.
Senator, I think is pretty, no pun intended, very cool.
Very cool, very wonderful. I feel quite attached to it.
And so, Senator, as you finish your career here in the Senate, I hope you can find a wonderful, great home for it, because this is Special Combat Halifax that we've recovered. But remember, we're recovering 2 more.
I know. But this is the one I have.
Well,
Yeah.
then, will you
So I have to make
will
sure
you
it
come
finds a
over and
safe
have a
place.
glass of wine with my Swedish divers when we raise
I
the
would
Halifax?
love to. I would love to if we could organize it. I would
Sure.
love to.
Okay, great.
I would love to.
But thank you for accepting
And
the
here's
Canada
the story.
Kit.
You gave this to me
Yes.
at the time.
Yeah, that's the Canada Kid story.
Yes, that's a Canada Kid story.
And it's from 432 Squadron.
Right.
Yeah, let's.
And 4 means it's Canadian.
Right.
Squadron,
So,
anything with a 4 is Canadian.
Canada Kid, 432 Squadron, and she was shot down, but some of the guys got out and some didn't.
So that's the one you brought up in Belgium?
Yep.
Yes, that's the first one you did.
Yep.
Cool.
And
so I
so
know exactly, yes.
So, but we value our freedom, and the guys paid on Canada Kid.